meditation. Probably one of the single most important things you could ever do for your life, but not for the reason you think. When I think about meditation, one of the major characteristics of meditation is a slower respiratory rate. I mean, think about it. If you've ever seen Tai Chi and you see somebody move through it, immediately, if I start moving like this, you go, oh, that's like Tai Chi. Well, what are you doing in Tai Chi, in this kind of modeling? You are allowing your body, this kind of kinesthetic system, to mirror back to you how slowly you want to breathe. Well, what's the point of that? Well, osteopaths throughout the world have really studied, and craniosacral therapists have really studied your cerebral spinal fluid and your respiratory pump mechanism. And they've just been keen observers of body movement. And one of those observations is when you breathe in and out 4 to 6 times in 1 minute, your respiratory rate is about 4 to 6 breaths per minute. That is very slow. It's so slow that if you were lying down, it would be nearly imperceptible to pretty much everyone how slowly you were breathing, because your body was just in this pod of energy at such a slow rate. That's what I believe meditation is. I believe there's a couple different pillars of meditation, but one of them, and the most fundamental in my opinion, is the art of breathing, and breathing very slowly. And it has some unique characteristics to itself. When you breathe really slowly, it can feel like, oh my goodness, I'm not taking enough air in. And there are some ways of working with that. But the main point here would be to breathe in and out so slowly. Now, most people want to quantify their life these days. They have a lot of, I have an iWatch. People have a lot of devices, the Whoop, the Shoop, a Loop, a Noop, all these different devices, these wearables. Well, the quantified self community has been taking in information for years and collecting information about your body. But what I hesitate for anybody to get a wearable and to use these technologies is like an Oura ring or whatever. Is it going to change your behavior? I was speaking with somebody the other day and they were telling me, oh yeah, the next day I just do less because of my heart rate or my temperature. That's not rest and rejuvenation. That's not meditation. That's not recovery. That's called load management. You're just saying, instead of doing everything I expected to do, I'm just going to do less than that. But see, when you do that, there's even a little battle of, am I being lazy? Is it lazy of me to think that I should be doing these things and I'm not? I feel like, oh, I should run 2 miles, but I'm going to run 1. That's called load management. That's not rest and recovery. You're not resting because you're not running 2 miles. You're just managing how much load and how much exertion you have. So the skill and the art of breathing has within itself a whole world of skill acquisition. And with any skill, there are nuances and ways of adopting and adapting new protocols, and then collecting all those skills together to create one movement you no longer think about, unconsciously competent. So the main point of this video is this. Meditation is one of the most important things you could ever do in your life. But it's the meditation and the art of breathing that I'm pointing out to you. Learning the skill of breathing as a meditative practice can be one of the greatest things you could ever do for yourself. And I don't mean connecting the breathing act to your kinesthetic system. I mean lying down and breathing in and out for 5, 10 plus minutes. So if somebody were observing you, pretty much everybody, they would not know you were breathing. If you can get to that place, rest and rejuvenation is at your fingertips. Then at that point, you will receive just a never-ending spring of energy and increased capacity for blood flow and valves in your heart. You got to understand that people are really studying breathing. Not in the esoteric terms, but I mean really studying breathing and how it taps into cranial nerves in your brain. But all that accumulates to the information of why you should do it. What I'm talking about is what you should do, breathing as a form of meditation, and there is a whole host of nuances for that how question. How do I do it? So hopefully you're inspired to learn more about the art of breathing as it relates to meditation, not because you want to manage your load and use a quantified device, but because you actually want to discover what does it mean to rest, recover, and rejuvenate, because that is a great skill to learn at every age. So if you want to be more inspired, check out my YouTube page, go to dominicsessa.com, check out my Instagram. We will talk soon.